So much. Well, this morning we welcome back to Wake Up Wiregrass J.D. Boone.
Good to be here.
Dothan Nurseries. I think it's the first time since the pandemic.
That's right.
You know, we had to close the live set for a while. We were going out there and shooting a story, a film out there. But anyway, we're glad to have you here because you brought some beauty stuff with you.
I did.
First, let's talk about, we have a change in the seasons. Also brings about some changes in the yard and gardens. So is this a good time to be pruning what kind of trees?
You know, the ones we get questions the most about are fruit trees and crepe myrtles. Crepe myrtles you can prune about any time of year, but you don't have to prune crepe myrtles, which is a whole nother long story. But if you do like to prune your crepe myrtles, you can prune them now, but I like to prune them as we get on into January and February, because if you prune them now, you'll have stumps while it's winter. And if you can prune them in February or March, as soon as you prune them, it warms up and they start flushing back out. As far as fruit trees, apples, peaches, pears, plums, all that kind of stuff, figs, blueberries. Once we get a good hard freeze, which, believe it or not, may not be long from now, that's when you would want to prune those.
Okay. Well, let's talk about which flowers do better this time of year.
Yeah. So you get I brought a couple of these. You get a whole different set of flowers this time of year. In the summer, you're going to have begonias and marigolds, that kind of thing. In the fall and winter, you're going to have pansies and violas. That's the main two. This is a pansy most people are familiar with, and these are violas, which are just a miniature pansy. Some people call them Johnny Jump Ups, but pansies and violas, I don't know why they call them.
That was my next question, so I'm glad you cut me off there.
I have no idea, but pansies, violas, snapdragons, and the great thing about these is when you plant them now, they like the cool weather, and believe it or not, they thrive in freezing and cold weather. So you plant them now, and you're going to have pretty flowers for October, November, all the way through April, and they start struggling when it gets hot. They don't like the hot weather. So pansies and violas, snapdragons are the main things we're planting in flower beds right now.
Well, good. So let's talk about this. This is a fruit tree. Now, what is this?
This is a Arctic frost satsuma, but the main word is satsuma. They've become real popular in southeast Alabama because of their cold hardiness. Lemons, limes, grapefruits, we tell people to plant those in a pot because they're not super cold hardy. You can bring them in the garage, bring them in the house when it gets really cold. The two that will take the cold weather, the two citrus, are the satsuma and the kumquat. And as they get older, they can take down to 12 or 13 degrees, especially this variety of satsuma, this Arctic frost. That can take the cold weather, and that's why these citrus have become more popular, because they can take our cold weather, and they're kind of working their way up from Florida into southeast Alabama. And you can have, once these things get happy, you can't give them away. You'll have so many of them. So,
well, that's a nice problem to have.
That's right.
JD, thank you so much for coming. And for people who have any questions, here's the number on your screen. You can call Dothan Nurseries or the talk on there on the website and get some more expertise with JD Boone and Dothan Nurseries. Thank you so much for coming with us here this morning. Well, it is also the season for spooky Halloween stories, and we've got a few for you after the break, so stay with us. We'll be right back.